Welcome, everybody, to the Evolution Podcast with a special episode today, a final cap of the Evolution Growth Summit of 2026, the event that we hosted guests every single day. We had 33 plus calls, and it was absolutely amazing. And now it turned into this podcast. And Dinka and I decided to do something a little special. So we're going to turn the event on its head to end it. And I think we've all kind of decided we're going to probably run this back in 2027. So put your seatbelts on because we're gonna do it again next year. But today we're gonna start this one just like I've started every single episode of of the summit, except a little different. So I'll start my end. Who is Dinka Salvador?
Oh God. I cannot say I didn't see this coming, but I'm still figuring it out which way I want to go. I'm a cosmic detective. I'm a professional, curious person. I always say, like, how kids have this kind of why phase when they're toddlers, like mine just never really ended. I want to know things. And I'm a living body of water. I'm I'm just consciousness, having fun. I don't know. There's so many labels, but I think those are the ones that resonate the most. And then, of course, this wonderful carbon suit, I can tell the story of it, but more and more I find that irrelevant because the energy is what matters. And especially here on Skool, I feel like even digitally, it resonates immediately. I have a better connection with a lot of amazing people, human beings here on this digital platform that I've never met in real life than some people that I know for 20 years just because the energy translates and clicks. So I don't want to waste time on the CV, what Dinka Salvador did in this lifetime. So I'm just going to leave it at there, cosmic detective, and just consciousness. So I guess now it's my turn to flip back the question on our resident tornado. So Brandon, I'm very curious to hear this one. So who is Brandon Decramer?
I had a lot of practice thinking about this question over the last month. And I think there's been many iterations of Brandon Decramer.
Mm.
And some of them were influenced and some of them weren't true iterations of who I am. And I think I was finding out my whole life who I was. And I was leaning on things like substances and people. And I was always very codependent. So I never really knew who Brandon Decramer was ever. And I think I'm finally starting to figure it out after the last, I'm 40 now. So I have the right people around me. School is a big part of that. Like you said, I have I am the living, breathing testament of the 5 people who you surround yourself is who you're gonna become. And I used to be surrounded by negativity and poor choices and poor actions and just being a certain level in life that I had to no longer accept. I had to start to set new standards for myself and new boundaries and learn what that even meant. I didn't even know what that meant for the long time. So I would tell you that I used to say that Brandon was a retired ex low level cage fighter, or I'm a father, um, or a nutrition nut or something like that. But now I really feel that Brandon Decremer is a self discovery every single day. Every day with the people that I connect with, and the 5 people that are now in my life are like 50 people that I can count on my hand. Some I know in person, like my amazing girlfriend and my kids and my family and support system. And some now big portion of that is here in the digital world. And it's people I connect with and I'm vulnerable with. And they help me figure out who I am every day. I learn who Brandon Decramer is from Dinka Salvador, Dr. Melissa Perteca, Sharon Prawl, Ankara Kuru, Mark Lawrence, Mark Eldridge, Karen Falkenberg. Like I could just go on and on and on. Julie Rushton. These are people that not only do I connect on calls with, um, but they Dr. Thomas Webb, oh my God. They push me to learn new things and to grow. And every day I find something else about who I am. So Brandon DeCramer is a big-hearted person that really cares about people, that is super motivated in life, has a ton of energy, and is just wanting to discover himself every day.
I love that. Yeah, I'm very, very happy that we're doing this actually because I was curious about that answer. Not because I don't know you, but what you feel like sharing with the world and how you see yourself. And I love the definition that you gave, because it's an ever changing, ever moving thing, like as we like to call you, the tornado. So yeah, that's I recognize you in that. So what was your favorite part of the summit? Just to start us off with a simple question, which is probably not.
That is not a simple
No,
question.
no, no. But I mean,
Not a simple.
if
There's
you have okay, top three
no.
then. What are the top three
Well,
moments?
actually, I do have a favorite part.
Mhm.
My favorite part is the fact that now the phrase cross pollination is something I use a lot. My favorite part was the 33 plus people that we got to meet, like really meet, like 90 minutes, an hour, whatever we were doing for that day. Every time something happened after that call, you had a networking opportunity, you had a connection with that person you just talked to, you got deeper into their community, they got deeper into your community. Our networks expanded. It's like this power of like three people talking a call, but then a couple people watch it and then they talk about it. And then people from that community of the owner we talk to talk about it. And then our communities and everybody kind of cross pollinates and the growth that came from that. Like the
Yeah.
things that I'm seeing, the people, the connections and people that are now doing things together from that event. That's my favorite part.
Yeah.
How about you?
Yeah, it's definitely the ripple effect that we maybe not completely unintentionally, but created on Skool. I was very happy to see other communities starting summits and kind of opening their doors a little bit more to collaboration and just this kind of we can all win together. We don't have to fight each other. There's actually a very funny word that I have learned here in Belgium. I don't remember from whom, but there's this funny word that they throw around. It's conculegas, which basically means that it's like colleagues, your concurrents, like you are competing with each other, but you're also colleagues at the same time. So just because you are in the same field or you're trying to do the same thing, it doesn't mean that you have to kill each other. Like you can win together, and this is what I feel like we kind of ignited the spark of on Skool. And I know that this is also not necessarily for everyone, because we talk about this, right? Like there's the old guard of Skool and, the bro marketing email list kind of situation. I have zero interest turning those people, like they have to do what feels right for them. And it's we are here on this side where we also feel comfortable, and whoever wants to come and join us on this side is always welcome. But we're not going to march out and tell everybody, but you have to do it like this. That's not our intention. But I do feel like there are a few people who gravitate towards this kind of mentality, like, hey, I don't want to be like punching at people and fighting against, other community owners. Like, can we just get along and play all together? So I
Yeah.
think if I had to choose one, probably that's my favorite, the ripple effect.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, and like you said, the old guard, like, there was this mentality of, like, each community was, like, its own little island, and people knew what you were doing if you were in there and you owned your own community, they'd be leery of you, and, like, I
Or a
just
spy or something, like
yeah, that just
gonna
never
take
really
knowledge away or something.
never really sat with me, and then, like, today here in Evergreen Foundations, I, like, post a couple groups that I got going on in Better Brain Project, we got stuff going on here, and I'm asking other people, like, "What do you have going on?" There are communities that if you were just sort of be like, "Hey, what groups are you doing?" They wouldn't like that, right? And I love the fact that our farmers market mentality that's
Mhm.
going from the summit where, hey, when you walk in Evergreen Foundations, you're gonna see all kinds of different communities and people, and you might not join them all, and you might not get anything from all of them, but you're gonna find a couple that you really bond with and that really help you in life. And that I think is super special to me. Like I want to shine the light on all my now friends and be like, yeah, oh, you're like wanting to learn how to camp more, you need to contact my buddy Rodney. He's awesome, but go see his community. Like that is just to me one of the best parts. Like I've met these cool people that I want to show. And if you bring it back to business, who's going to remember that I set Rodney and then someone else up? Those two people, right? Like I think there's still a business of morals that you can, if you help people, if you network other people together, it's going to come back, right? And maybe not even business morals, but universe. Like what you give out, what you put out, you're going to get back.
I truly believe that too. And also, it doesn't cost anything to be kind or just to connect two people that you think that they would hit it off. Like, what does it cost you? It reflects back on you as, they will be happy if it's really a match and they like each other. They will be forever happy that and grateful for you that you made that connection. So it literally doesn't cost anything. And yeah, I think that you also have a talent in that department, Brandon, that you really see people for who they are and what their needs are. And you said it yourself, you have a huge heart. And I think that is one of your superpowers here at school because you have so much reach because of this, because you truly care about people. And I love to see that in action, the tornado heart. So,
That has been fun. I feel like this whole summit, everything kind of woke me up. I was trying to figure out who am I? What am I doing for my future? Like, what does school look like right now? Like, we went through some transitions that as we've talked about on other episodes, and in that period, all it took, I look back and I reflect on this, and everything was like a little spark or a seed planted or like even you and I got closer, right? And then we said, "Hey, like let's bring Melissa on." That brought members in. And that even that move was the move that started everything because just saying, "Hey, let's be I have a community, you have a community, she has a community, Blueprint Method, Trinity Code, and the Better Brain Project. Let's be branches of one forest." And immediately everybody else just kind of like that liked that. It was crazy. Like even this summit, I remember your look when you looked at me and I was like, "Hey, we should have like guests every day in January." You were like, "Yeah, okay, you're right. Like
I mean,
oh,
come on, it was ambitious. Let's just be honest. It was ambitious. So
yeah."
it wasn't completely, out of line for me to give you that look, but we pulled it off. So
And not only was it ambitious, I think one part I've always forgot to say is the day that I said, "Hey, we should have a guest every day in January." It was like December 23rd.
yeah,
We didn't it wasn't this wasn't in, like,
yeah, no,
September. Blink out, got 13 guests to sign up or whatever, and I was like, "Oh, okay." And then we booked up within the first week, and we knew that saying, "Hey, everybody, come connect." We want all the first line you said when we did that little video for all the people that signed up, and you said, "We want all the boats to rise at the tides," and just doing that sent an energy through everybody, and I didn't only see it here, I seen it in other communities, and you'd see people talking about it, and it'd be like, "Oh, that's really cool," and then one day there was, like, 8 communities I counted in one day. I was like, "Holy cow." Like, this is
yeah.
really, like, catching fire, like, people are talking about this.
I can
How
even
this
imagine that there are communities that we are not in, that they are still talking about it, or that's how I feel that the ripple effect works. That we might not even know how far we've reached with this, and certainly off school, right? Because now it's on all podcast platforms, so it's kind of like out of our hands. It's released into the world. So we only see the numbers, obviously, but that doesn't give you so much. Like in school, you can kind of track it, like who saw it or who's talking about it. But yeah, I really feel like this is just the beginning, actually, for the podcast. And as you were saying, like I totally agree that we have to do another one next year. So it will become an annual thing, and then we will do the weekly podcast in between. And it's so funny how it kind of just happened organically. Like this wasn't planned in this way that, oh, let's make a podcast out of it. I don't even remember. I think it was like into week 2 or something when we kind of realized that we had a podcast.
well, 2 points, actually, before you I tried to force a podcast and make one, never happened. Tried to do all this stuff, never happened. When you let things fall into place, look at what's going on, and what happened was everybody that was coming into Evergreen about week call 7 or 8,
Yeah.
everybody was answering my auto DM, and they were saying, "Hey, how do I get on your podcast? How do I get on your, summit?" I was like, "Well, the summit's booked." And then I had a group that I was doing on Wednesdays. I'm like, "Well, I'll just feature a guest and we'll do that." And then quickly, I was like, "No, we're just going to do this as a podcast." And you putting it on other platforms kind of solidified it. That, like, yeah, this is a podcast now. So now we record it every Wednesday instead of that live group. And that was like week 2. Like all of a sudden now it's a podcast.
Yeah.
And now we're doing the features where we're featuring people like doing cool stuff. We got breath work today, AI seminars next week and stuff like that part. Is fun that it like I didn't plan that. I was like, oh yeah, now we're gonna do this in 2 months. And like that was just like, oh, this is where the need is. And I think that's a super cool. We're a school podcast. So that's a super cool thing that we shouldn't overlook as owners is when you try to like, what do I have to plan? What do I have to do? How do I make my people like engage and stuff? Really, like everything we've done was shedding the light on people started it, but then it was like listening to what people need, listening to what people said, hey, I want to be on this. Okay, let's do a weekly podcast. Hey, the podcast is now booked until June.
Yeah.
And I want to do my talk on this, or I want to do a forest bathing therapy session February 22nd, Susan Andrea. That's going to be awesome. Well, like, and it's like, okay, well, they want to do that. Let's let them do it. So everything wasn't planned. It was just like, this is what they want to do. Let's do it that way. And I think that is why that organic culture and organic like things coming into place was helpful for us.
Yeah. And also for a lot of Skool community owners, I think there's probably a point where you want to do lives and you have a concept maybe even that you want to show up, and then maybe you're the only one, nobody shows up for your call. So I think that's also unintentionally we created a platform for Skool community owners to get their message out further than their own Skool community, and be seen. And well, it wasn't really like an very structured kind of talk where we would you know go through certain questions, but I think that was also the beauty of it, and it ties back to this kind of allowing the magic happen, that we have the opening question and the final question, and everything between was always improvised. Never once I felt like like it was always cool. It was always just like allowing people to talk about what they want to talk about or what they're passionate about. And like 90% of the time, it was even like super fun, like
Yeah.
it was really like, wow.
And
Yeah.
we react in real time too. Like a lot
Yeah.
of this, we're meeting a lot of these people, like
Mhm.
even if we knew them a little bit,
Yeah.
we're getting to know their stories for the first time, just like the
Mhm.
audience. There's those moments where I'm like, oh my God, that was so cool. And I'm trying
Mhm.
to form a question and I'm like, I don't know if I'm even making sense right now, but that was awesome. Like, bro, you're a Bulgarian black belt.
Yeah.
Like, what? Like, and then I'm trying to ask a question in real time to like as I'm responding. So it shows we're human, and it
Yeah.
shows like the non-scripted, like, oh wow, I can't believe you just said that. I didn't see that coming. Or if we just want to talk random moments, one of my favorite moments of the summit was Mark Lawrence, and he was talking about walking up the stairs of to the Buddhist or the monk's temple,
And the dragon's nest,
the tiger's nest.
a tiger's nest. Yeah, sorry.
And I Googled that while he was
Mhm.
talking to look at it
Or
because
two.
we're live, like we're doing this, we're doing live threads, like we're in our community, like we're doing this live while we do this too. So I Google it and I'm like, holy cow, like I can just picture what he's feeling. And then he had that moment where he was talking about being by the statue and falling into a meditative state. And his voice cracked and he paused for like a minute. And you could feel the
Mhm.
motion from
Yeah.
30 years ago or whatever that was. I could feel that emotion. That was so cool. And I didn't see that coming. I didn't try to get that out of him. He didn't tell me he was going to tell that
Mhm.
story. So like I am in like real time um emotionally responding too. And it was that stuff. That was my one of my favorite stuff. And I feel that almost happened every episode.
Yeah. But that's when the magic happens, when you create a container full of good intention and you just bring your curiosity, and life writes the best stories, right? Like you cannot make this shit up. And almost without an exception, every episode we had kind of a moment which was completely unplanned, and it was like, wow, that's really cool. And I think this also gives permission to other community owners Like, we are not podcasters, we didn't intend to be. We had no freaking idea what we were doing. Okay, maybe there was a little bit of planning and organization, but that's pretty much it. Like, if we could do it, you can do it too, and do it because it's fun. And it doesn't have to be scripted, it doesn't have to sound perfect. You don't have to have a jingle or like a studio setup or whatever. Like, just do it because it's fun. You will learn so much, you will have amazing content, you will get to know a lot of people, and you will form friendships. So there's so much good coming out of this. So yeah, do it,
Yeah.
people.
Whatever you're worried about, like how you look on camera, you don't do this, you don't speak well, you don't sound good. Those I've been saying this for a little while now. Those who care won't care.
Yeah.
Like, I have had brain farts, like, right on live, like, something like, I don't know what I was gonna say." And you think like, we all the people from our community and stuff are like, "Oh, Brandon, look at you, you messed up." Nobody cares. No, nobody cares. If you're a human being and it's not, like, perfect lighting, like Dinka said, and it's not all this stuff, and you're just showing up with who you are and authentic care, the people who resonate with that, they're not gonna care about any of the things you're worried about.
Yeah.
Like, none of it.
Yeah, I
Um
agree.
So, I'm gonna put us on the hot seat a little bit here.
Ooh, please do.
What do you think, in your opinion? I'll do mine. What is your top 5 favorite calls of the summit?
I was thinking about, doing this in advance, but I was like, yeah, let's just do it live. Ooh, I don't know.
And I'm not gonna put them in order because everyone was awesome.
Yeah,
So I'm
no, 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 no. But just from
every
the
call
top
was
of my
awesome. But
head, the ones that I enjoyed the most. Let me think. Um, I really like the one with Mark Lawrence. It was really powerful, obviously. I
Mark was
really enjoyed Hank's episode as well because he has such a unique presence and perspective. And just his energy is like, and I mean, he's a bloody falconer. When did
I
I
know,
talk
I know, right?
about this? Come
Yeah,
on.
he is the coolest guy in the
Oh, he's
room. Yeah,
like a superhero. Um,
but
I
it's his
really,
presence too. It's how he's
yeah,
present. Yeah.
yeah, just the way that he's like a rock, like he's just so collected and calm also. So it's not like a forced thing, but it's just like there, and then you cannot not notice him. Um, Obviously, our Bulgarian mermaid
Oh,
ninja
yeah.
DJ. I mean, Ro is always gold, always amazing to talk to her. Um, yeah, I don't know who else.
Oh, I well, you think, all those, right? Like, every single
You cannot do that.
big moments, all those, but no, I'm gonna add a few. But Gabby Roberts is cool because I've known her for a
Oh
while.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Anything
And it
off
was
the
such a
summit,
cool way to kick off the
yeah,
summit.
she was.
She
I
really set the energy so well, right? Like,
feel Gabby being so vulnerable and telling certain parts of her story gave the rest of the summit permission just to say whatever the hell they want,
absolutely. Yeah,
and
yeah.
I
And that was
love it.
such a beautiful moment with Mark as well, right? Like,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think we already started opening our hearts to Mark on that episode, and then he became like the honorary panel member because he just always brought so much value to every conversation that he was
Yeah.
part of.
Kyle Berry was so cool for me.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah,
I
you guys are.
graduated high school with him. I didn't see him for 20 years. We reunited at our 20-year reunion, and like having him a part of that and having that conversation and learning more about him and his journey and stuff
Yeah, yeah, of
was
course.
really really special.
Mhm.
Some of the other fun conversation with me, not everybody's cup of tea, and I don't think he cares. Jim Motes was a fun conversation. I
Yeah.
love that. I loved that one, and I follow along with his podcast, and he's not afraid to ruffle feathers, and
No,
for his
no.
and
That's
I appreciate him, like, too, and he just hit 100,000 subscribers he was bragging about on his YouTube the other day, and he
cool.
gave us some shout outs, so, yeah, I mean, he's a
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
cool one. Oh, wow, I think back and I'm like,
Oh, Amy Cutler, you missed that one. You
"Oh,
were just
well,
for
actually,
the
that's what I was gonna say." Amy Keller was one of my favorite episodes, and I wasn't even really there the whole
you
time.
missed it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. She was so cool. I mean, I love her energy. She can make pizza sound dirty. I mean, that's so
No.
it's so cool. Yeah, that was
When I
really fun.
came in when I came in and it was just like, "Brandon!
Yeah.
Oh my god!" Like, it was,
It
like,
was
the
so
coolest energy.
funny.
Oh, this is fu
Immediately put her man hat on. Like the conversation that we had before was a totally different vibe, and then you came and she was like, "Okay, so this is what you're gonna do, and you're gonna take your girlfriend and da 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 da." Da," and you were there like, "Okay, what happened?"
Wow, this must have been a wild call. I watched it back. It was a lot of fun. She's such a fun lady, and like
Yeah.
her mission and everything is just all in her energy, and it's really cool.
TED Talk is pretty cool too, folks. So if you want a good laugh and some good
Yeah.
information, check out her TED Talk as well.
A lot of people that I knew and connected with from when I first started doing this, Dave Layden, Jenny Spillane, Hank Miner, Gabby Roberts. That was a cool Vetzel sued. There was like a cool thing because I met all those people and I had no idea what I was doing, like in this industry or anything. I was like, I'm going to be a coach, and like brand new, knew nothing. And those are all the people that like were my core first
Mhm.
group
Yeah.
on. And so to have them to like experience what we're now like all evolved into it, to get
Mhm.
caught up with them. And Jenny's story about being afraid of the ocean and then being a
Yeah.
free diver was a moment that,
It was a cool one too, yeah.
yeah, it really, I wrote that one down in my journal and I like went back to that, thought about, and a lot of us are so afraid of things we don't know why. And when we push those things, we can fall in love with it. And that was a cool story.
Okay, let's mix this up a little bit. I'm gonna ask you, like, what are your favorite takeaways? Like things that you've learned or practices that you implemented because someone talked about it, or like little, things that are actually now part of your daily or weekly or whatever routine that you learned from.
I chew my food to paste, I breathe more, and, I manage stress before I eat every single day now since Sharon Brawls.
Mm. Oh
Oh,
yeah, that was also cool. How could we forget about
I know
Sharon?
that's yeah, I coulda went for, like the good thing you stopped me
Right.
because I woulda just kept going.
Yeah. Yeah, Sharon was
So
amazing.
that's one thing, and Ankara's boosted in that. He did our special breathwork session, like,
Mm,
breathwork been something that I utilized and knew the importance of, and but I didn't have it as natural as I need
mhm.
for my nervous system. And
So he kinda, like, demystified breath work, like, it doesn't have to be, like, a whole, I don't know, go to separate room and you have to do all the thing, like, you can just do it on the go and it's
yes,
basically a tool that you have access to all the time.
yes, and
And I
that's
mean,
it's
his energy is just, like, contagious. I love that guy.
and
Cool.
you know what? I'm gonna be remiss. I can't believe I didn't mention this yet. A 20-year-old kid is changing a 40 guy's life because and I I learned so much about school in one 90-minute call and then had to hunt down Jack Robinson when he had opportunity.
Careful when you say his name, he tends to appear, so
Yeah, no. I had to hunt down Jack Robinson and join the schoolyard immediately. I was already a member, but I immediately poured into what the yard party method is because it's everything. Jack being called 3 was awesome because it was everything that every owner that is thinking collaborations, cross-pollination, like the yard party method and how he does it over there is what this is. So,
Mm,
yeah, Jack changed a lot for me.
yeah.
That was one person I took action out of his call big time.
Mhm. Yeah. And
I
I mean, there's a reason why he's the first returning guest on the podcast. We just had a episode with him yesterday. So if you haven't seen that one, go check it out. It's a little peppery, but we all stayed friends at the end. I mean, I like to push people sometimes, but he doesn't let himself be pushed. See, he pushes back, so that's fine. Friendly banter.
I got one for you. What do you think is the most unexpected thing you learned about a guest that you might have soft known, but then you were like, "Oh, damn, I never seen that coming." Did you have any of those moments? Because I had a few.
I think Sharon's story about that gentleman that she helped to transition, that was a big one for me. I mean, I totally saw many things in Sharon, that she's just an all around amazing person, and so service oriented and for the greater good. But when she told that story, that was pretty amazing. And it was funny because even before we started recording, I asked about the big crystal behind her. So this is how we ended up with the story. I was like, "Oh, that's such a beautiful crystal." And then she started explaining like, "Oh, I got it as a present because there was a family, blah, 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 blah. But okay, okay, maybe let's talk about this, during the podcast." So that was, again, totally not planned. And that was a big one for me. I mean, it's not a story that you hear every single day. And it's so beautiful that you can help someone to leave this world with ease. I think that's a beautiful gift. And that also speaks volumes to her quality of, character, that she's just doing this so generously. So yeah, that was a big one for me.
I had Rose call. I felt like the whole call was that for me, but I didn't know
Yeah.
the whole call. I was
Yeah.
like, what are you going to tell me next? So you just climbed Everest yesterday? Like, man, you have a life, girl. Like a super spy. Like, but this wasn't something that I learned. It was something that was validated for me. And I can't believe we haven't set this name yet. Um, Watching Rebecca Martin command the screen like a community owner, like an anxiety coach, like a wellness coach. I'm so emotional about that girl that even
Mhm.
talking about her growth, I
No.
get emotional because I seen the shell of a sheltered person almost 3 years ago when I met her, and she just bloomed and attached to so many people in school. And she's
Yeah.
an action taker. She reads
Yeah.
everything, watches all the videos, and just doesn't consume. She takes action. And now her routine makes me go, damn, Brandon, you gotta figure shit out here. That's sometimes Rebecca's up at 4 in the morning working out and doing Zumba. She taught a Zumba class in a live community last week.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
in
I
Vegas.
didn't know this.
Nice.
Way to
Yeah,
go, girl.
yeah, she led a group. Like this girl is, and
Amazing.
the way she spoke, because I've spoken a lot to her
Mhm.
in the last 3 years. I've
Yeah.
been on a lot of live groups. There was times where we mentioned this the other day. It was me, Dave, and Becca for 3 months on groups. So we got to know her good. And to watch the way she showed up on that call was
Yeah.
special. It was special. It really
And
was.
she was just like anyone else, like all the other episodes. We didn't
Yes.
have to guide her or support her in big ways to let her shine or come out of her shell. No, no, no. The S word is not allowed anymore. She's not shy, and I was so happy to see her in that light. I'm really proud of that episode because maybe it's not so interesting for a lot of people who don't know her from before, but I am still so happy that we did that because that's definitely our way of appreciating her, to putting her on display. And what you were saying during that episode, that she will always be your biggest success story. And she's not done yet. She's not done yet. She's going to places. We say this often, that she will be a TED talker one of these days, and she will
Oh,
have
yeah,
her
yeah,
own
yeah.
community. And I cannot wait to see where she will end up. And there's no stopping that girl anymore. I'm so so excited for Becca. So yeah, that was really cool. A little thing that I wanted to mention that I actually implemented like a daily routine is what Lorena was saying, that she hugs herself in the evening before going to sleep. Sergio was even laughing at me first when I did it. Said, "I love you," and I was like, "I know." I was like, "No, no, no, I'm talking to myself." So I think that's a very sweet and very powerful practice, that everybody can start doing today. And so, yeah, it doesn't always have to be a huge thing. And I don't know, meditating 20 hours, right?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Her call was one of those 2 that just, like, gave yourself permission to go, "How
Mhm.
do I need to take care of myself a little bit better today?"
Yeah.
Lorena's call was one of those that got
Mm.
me thinking. You know what I was just thinking of all these names and all the people that are on the summit. You, Melissa, and I had a conversation where we are like, "Should we, like, structure this and put it into pillars, feature themes?" And
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
we never ended up really doing that, but I look back and we had so many clusters of themes
Yeah.
people. Like you had right, Jamie and Jim Moats and the spirit. We had
Yeah. Oh,
spiritual people, and then
yeah.
life coach Rob and Brennan Thompson and Mark
Yeah.
Eldridge and Hank Miner. All these like business leadership, like just powerhouses, right? And then we had like the lighter side with Serena and Gabby and Sarah Geelan and not lighter and deeper, like emotional calls.
Very
And
more feminine side, yeah.
our Morgan Freemans and Stacey Coley and
Oh, how could we forget Stacey Coley? Oh my god, yeah, that was such a fun call, but, I love Stacey and I could talk to her for weeks, like it just felt so short. Like not once we had to, fill up uncomfortable, spaces and pauses. But I think that was pretty much true for the whole summit. I didn't really feel like there was a moment where we had to be like, so what to talk about? Because it usually just went by so quickly and especially with Stacy. I mean, I told her this in the episode as well. Like I could just listen to her reading the phone
I
book.
do,
I don't
I,
fucking care. Like
I do, if she put affirmations in her classroom, I'd probably play those every night. Like every night, she's got this. Just her voice is so soothing and like she's
Mm.
so. I remember I can't remember what exactly I said, but I said something about myself, and she kind of was like,
Oh yeah, that what was it? I don't remember, but something like trauma or I don't know. And then she was just like allowing you to
"Yeah," and the way she
giving you
kept
a hug with her words. That's her game.
whatever I said, and I remember Alicia was here, and she was listening, and she walks by, and whatever the way she said it, she said, "Brandon, I want you to look at it like this." It was like she almost like gently took me into another place, and I was like, "Oh, that's so sweet." And Alicia stopped, and I was like, "Oh, that was amazing." Right? So those are cool behind the scene moments. Um,
Mhm.
yeah,
JJ's call was also it was on the deeper side because we talked
mhm.
about separation and consciousness and all of that. But I love that. So
He falls
it
in that category like Ankara and stuff where we got it.
yeah.
Yeah,
That
like
it was really cool. I think we really found a balance, again, totally unintentionally, cater to pretty much anyone. Like if somebody looks through the list of speakers and can honestly say that has zero interest in any of the calls, then I don't know why are you on school to start with. But no, I really feel like we did such a great job at like catering to everyone a little bit because we had so diverse people, and I love that, it's fun.
well, and like you said, like there was things we learned from every call. Like you're doing things, I'm doing things. Like it was almost like it was just that. Like it was a growth summit. Like it was intense. Like you thought about things about yourself after the call, and like I had journal notes. Like I was taking notes for these
Mhm.
things. I had things that I was like really like a transformative time. Like it's just like you go to a Tony Robbins summit and you're gonna have some growth in the end, right? Like this is what that was for me too. Like every single call I reflected on and I really appreciated what it brought to my life, just
Yeah.
personally, just talking to the person. So I hope that other people really find that as they find this summit on the different platforms and they check episodes out. And one thing I've loved hearing is my girlfriend will watch it or she'll listen to it every day on the way to work. And she'll come home like all the time and be like, "Oh, I checked out like this call from last week." And she'll like react to something different. And it's after I've done it and I haven't watched some of them back, right? Like we just do them and then we've been pretty busy. But then she'll bring up like, "Oh yeah, on Sharon's call." And I'm like, "Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, you're right." And it's like, so it's really cool that it's like the gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah, I also feel like, it's a different situation when you are being a host on the podcast. You cannot, I mean, we do listen, obviously, because we want to ask questions, and that's the whole point, right? But I feel like it's still a different way of listening than as a listener. So I think it will be interesting for us to go back, in a couple of months and revisit certain episodes and then kind of refresh those conversations that we had, and it's definitely going to be a gift that keeps on giving. For me, what was also amazing, because I think I had a lot of people or a lot less people that I knew before they came on to the podcast.
Yeah.
So for me, what was really cool is that I managed to connect with every single human being on an emotional level because of the vulnerability and authenticity that they brought into this space. And just the first episode with Gabby was, like that already set the bar. I think we even said this on the episode, like, okay, guys, the bar is set.
Yeah, that was
Just like her story is so powerful and the way she was talking about it, I think that already makes you like drop your guard and just look at human beings with a different view. Like, you never know what another person is going through. It's so easy to judge. We get annoyed, we snap at each other, we are grumpy, we are self-absorbed, and everybody's stressed, but you never really know what's going on in another person's life. And it's a reminder that I think it's very needed also in today's world, that a little softness, a little kindness goes a really long ways. For me, that was another big takeaway.
Yeah, it was definitely cool to get to know people that even I thought I knew a
Mm.
little bit, and then they would say something like Vatzel. I knew Vatzel from a program I've been in his community, I think, since, like, the
Yeah.
jump,
We have to
and
have him get him back as well, because I missed that one, and
yeah,
I want to hear his story as well.
his story of being an immigrant from India, moving to Canada, being very uncomfortable as a speaker and very insecure about it, and then now, like, throwing TEDx and having hundreds of speeches under his belt and teaching people how to speak. Like, I knew he was a speech coach, but I didn't know that story of, like,
Mm,
really not being able to speak well and being very
mhm.
bullied about it. Like, so yeah, that was a cool one to, like, oh wow, like, I didn't know all the details on this.
But
Um,
that's also one of the golden threads that we had throughout the summit, that a lot of the speakers, they had a very difficult situation, or something that they struggled with, and they turned it into their medicine, into their service to the world. And I just love that also, that for one, that they felt comfortable enough talking about it, for us or with us. So that kind of gives me the confirmation that we did a good job at, like, making people feel comfortable. And also that, it happened once, and I don't know how many times, over and over and over again. It wasn't like, just one person, but it was really like a theme. That's
yeah.
So it also maybe is a message for people who are now in a difficult situation, and suffering and don't see a way out, that there's so many inspirational stories that maybe one day they will also be able to turn their suffering into something beautiful. It doesn't have to be service, it doesn't have to be a school community or anything, but just showing a way out of a hopeless situation. I think that's the most important story to be told
Yes.
about human beings. It's a story of hope.
You really see we really seen that with everybody that spoke would say the same similar things of, but then I want to help as many people as I can, or I want to get back, and it's just like every single person was on fire for helping other people do similar things or new, and it's just that part was cool. That part was like, I would notice it every time. I would smile almost when somebody would say something like, "Oh yeah, here we are." Like, everybody has that fire, and I mean, that's why a lot of us start school communities, right? Is we want to give back and help other people. But I think when you can turn your, like you always said, when you can turn that worst moments into your best medicine, it's powerful stuff.
And I also think that, energy, that's how it works. What you put out there comes back to you. So if you are willing to share your story and be vulnerable and just authentic, then you will attract the right people. And this is why, and this came up so many times, authenticity as well. It's not worth to play a part, because you will have to remember how to behave in a certain way that you want to present yourself. It's always it's always better to just be yourself. And maybe it's weird for you, or maybe you feel like, oh, nobody's going to like me, but that's not true. There's so many people out there. It's just by, statistically, it's not possible that nobody's going to like you. And we are more connected than we are divided. I am an idealist, and I choose to believe that we are more connected than we are divided. And it takes brave souls like the ones that we had during our summit to step in the limelight and share their story vulnerably, to make way and give permission to other people to do the same, even if it's just to their friends or to their family. It doesn't have to be on a podcast, but just to open up and share their story, because there is someone listening. We care. And I think that's maybe, to me, that's the most important message of the summit, that somebody's listening.
Yeah. Yeah, I absolutely agree. And when when you look, like you said an important thing there is like on some social medias, you see the division, you see all this stuff. But if you come over here, like there's lots of people on school and it's different. There's the connection aspect because you have a lot of human beings like the ones we talk to that have been through some stuff and now they want to help other people. And they come from a really good heart center. And I think that is how you get along and there's less division is when you all come from a common place of wanting to help others. Are we all going to agree on every last aspect of everything? No, no, we're not. But if we can come together on like, let's help each other grow in our own unique ways, and I think that happens on Skool in bigger ways than I've probably ever seen on the internet, in my opinion.
Yeah. And that's also the driving force of Skool. Like, sure, you need to have a good about page and you have to have some good stuff in your classroom. But I think that the engine of Skool is the live calls because, after all, we still want human interaction. We want to talk to people. We want to see reactions real time. We want to hang out with the people that we like, even if it's just for coffee, even if we are a half world apart. But that's the genius of Skool, that it enables us from here, from Belgium to the other side of the ocean, to talk to a brother that I've never met in real life, but I feel closer to than most people that I know for 20 years.
Yeah.
So this is why Skool is, in my view, it's not a social media platform, it's a community platform.
Yes. 100%. That relationship is a fun one we can talk about on this episode.
Mhm.
So you and I think we connected really like right away, but well, over time, we butt heads on certain things because of personality stuff, and we
Sure.
learned things, right?
Mhm.
Learned things about each other, and maybe we didn't know what direction we were going in school. And once this all started, and we like you started to like plan and organize and kick into that mode, and I do what I do best, like tornado mode and networking and all that. And when all that started to come together, and then every day after the summit, we would meet in what we call the crew call,
Yeah,
which
yeah, just
and
talking about, "Oh my god, that was so cool."
yeah,
It was pretty much the gist of it.
we grew every
Mm,
day through this
yeah.
summit. As a team, as a duo, we became podcast partners unexpectedly. That story is still one of my favorite of the summit. I
Mm.
literally was like, "Yeah, we're gonna do this group on Wednesdays, and we'll have live people, and we'll just kind of treat it like I'll just have guests." And then I went to bed at 9 o'clock at night, and I woke up at like 5 in the morning. There was a post in Skool, and we're podcasters. We're on Spotify, we're on YouTube, and I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." So like that was our relationship really bloomed through this. I mean, we had moments where we had to, it got tested and we had to stand up for each other and we had to do things that like were really team growing
Yeah, absolutely.
experiences.
Mm. Yeah, and I'm so grateful that we get to spend this time together. For me, it's okay. I mean, the summit was tough. The last week was really like, as much as I enjoy talking to people, but just, the continuous like showing up and doing the work, it was getting heavy for me. I don't want to lie about that. But I still feel like we get to do this. It's not a chore for me. I was always looking forward to meeting new people and talking to them. It's something that I now know that that's my favorite thing to do on the earth, is to listen to people's stories, because I strongly feel that if you have enough patience and the ability to make someone comfortable, every single human being on this planet has an incredible story. Every single one.
Yes.
You just have to make them comfortable and trust you enough to be willing to share it. But it's like, you cannot make this shit up. It's better than movies. It's so
Yeah.
cool, and that's my favorite thing to do. And we also kind of organically divided the tasks, as you were saying, between the two of us, because obviously it's much better, easier to lean into our strengths, right? So it was never like an issue like who should be doing what, but even that part kind of organically just happened. And I feel like it was a steep learning curve because we never did a podcast before, but I also feel like now we have a system, like
Yeah.
and we also had some feedback, and it was also nice, sometimes even the guest would say like, "Hey guys, you are really doing an amazing job, and it's like so smooth and really organized. And I was on another summit, and it wasn't like that." And we didn't know what we were doing, so it's super nice to hear that from, after like our first ever summit, to hear that it was actually really well executed. And I felt that way too. I think we really did a good job because, in the end, I we created something that I'm very proud to present to anybody.
Yeah.
I'm like, we did that, and that's enough for me. I don't care about the views and the reach and the whatever, but we created something that I'm really super proud to put out in the world.
And you know what's super cool too, though, is we did that with an amazing team, right?
Mm,
Like all the whole everything, everybody kind of had their role, from even like Dave to Melissa and Sarah Geelan and Rebecca and Alicia and Sergio, like the background people that were commenting, putting
artist.
stuff, talking
Yeah.
about their communities, like, and then we had
Mm,
500 other people that are going out. Like we said, it's in
mm,
other communities, it's on their social medias. Like we had such an army of people that made this thing
yeah.
super special
Mhm. Yeah. It
because, yeah,
really takes a village, apparently. We didn't know, but it really does. So, but again, this is another proof that doing it together is not only easier, but it's also super fun. Like, you could probably do a podcast on your own. You have to wear all the hats, but where's the fun in that? And then, this teamwork element and the cross pollination, and letting people do what they're naturally good at. It just makes everything easier and more fun. And it doesn't have to be perfect. That's the other thing. I think that a lot of people have this kind of um, blockage that unless they can do something perfectly, they don't even want to start with it. And then, like that, you will never start. What is perfect anyway?
oh,
And I think that's another permission slip that we can give to other people. Like, our podcast is not perfect. There's a bunch of bloopers and brain farts and tech, hiccups, and I don't know what. We had
we're
it
gonna,
all. People canceling or, have to reschedule, can't make it on the call. Tech is not teching, but we are still here. We actually delivered on every single call that was scheduled and more, because there was the little conflict with Ro, the double trouble. You remember, for
yeah, the
days
two in one day.
we had two in one day. So we actually over delivered, if we think about it. So if there's a will, there's a way. That's what I say. And perfect is boring anyway. So don't aim for perfect.
I mean, if you there's some podcasters that you look back and some of their early stuff on YouTube, if you go look way back, it's gonna be the same thing. They didn't have the big studios. There's some that obviously they start nowadays with, but there's some that started small and then they make mistakes. We're gonna look back and we keep doing this. We're gonna look back and like some of those first episodes,
Yeah, maybe we will be
I'm like,
cringing, like, oh my God.
I'm interrupting people and talking too fast. I'm having brain farts and like, but people, that's what resonates. Will I do that if we're still podcasters from 5 years from now? Probably not, because I'll have a lot of experience. Look at us. Like, actually, this is a funny little thing. Dave was going, hey, I'm kind of nervous with this. What do I do? Do we have a script? I'm like, if you, no, I'm like, we just kind of have a conversation. And I was like, plus, you're getting a version of me and Dinka. We'll be able to guide you. I was like, January 1st, we had zero podcast experience. Now we both have like 40 hours of podcast experience.
Exactly.
Like we got our training real quick, like,
Yeah.
which is cool because it's a cool stat that 75% of podcasters that start in their first year don't get over 50 episodes and then they quit. And we're already, because of we just batched this content, we're already like set up just to be a viable podcast. Just because we recorded, not because we did it perfect, not because we had suits and ties and did our hair and makeup every episode and had the perfect lighting and had the greatest mics in the world, because we just hit record and then posted them. We have a huge percentage of being a podcast. We keep wanting to do it. And so, moral of the story, hit record, put out your content. The people who care about you and care about your message don't care about the details.
Yeah.
They're not going to nitpick. I mean, they might laugh at you if you do something silly. Some of my
And
friends.
this also makes you human and more relatable. I think that even with the biggest podcasters, if you go back and look at their first stuff, what made them good podcasters is the conversation. That's what
That's
matters. Interesting guests, interesting stories, good questions, human interaction, because that's what we all want. We just want to be seen, heard, and understood and loved. That's pretty much it. So yeah. Oh, this is good stuff, Brandon.
This is fun.
I'm
It's cool to
so
reflect
glad that we did
back.
this. Yeah, this is our little reward at the end of the
Yeah.
summit. Not that we needed it, but I really am so glad that we did this, and hopefully it will be enjoyable for everyone out there listening. Not just like I feel like we're yapping, but maybe it's interesting. I hope.
Hey, sometimes just those are the best conversations. It's the ones
Sure.
that you see happen and other people get stuff from. What did what is your biggest takeaway before we go to the like, little last part? What is your biggest takeaway of this summit for going into the future? Like where do you see yourself, school, your communities going now because of this?
I think a lot of kind of imaginary blockages were released because of this, because it proved to me I proved myself wrong. Not because I was scared to be on camera or whatever, but it was a big undertaking. And it definitely gave me confidence that I can do difficult things. I can commit to something that is hard. Not because I didn't know that before, but it's always nice to have evidence. And it gave me confirmation that school is the platform for me. Not that I needed it, but again, it just proved it to me that there's something here on school that is special and is different. So I will use this as rocket fuel for my own community. And obviously we will keep going with the evolution podcast here in Evergreen Foundations. And I am definitely starting my own podcast in the Trinity Code as well, because I got so many ideas, and there are going to be some people who we had on this podcast going, just one on one talking to me about different things. And you don't have to have like a revolutionary idea to start a podcast. It doesn't have to be like I don't know, a cool theme, or you don't have to have the perfect, I don't know, line to sign off. It's genuinely about, human connection and conversation. So yeah, I think that it made me believe and understand that I can do this, and I might even be good at it, and I definitely enjoy it. So yeah, if that was the only good thing coming out of it, it was worth it.
I,
And for you, Brandon.
I feel like I'm really finding my place. I was a little lost myself on school before all this happened. And this has helped me find my place, my home, a few roles that I'm filling in to really nicely. I'm obsessed with building schools and connections and doing different things that I didn't. I always kind of knew I was going to go down, but now I found it's solidified some things for me. And I'm also going to do not like a weekly or anything, but I'm also going to do a little Better Brain Project special event podcast that's coming out of this summit. Where we're going to do roundtable events where I'm going to get like
Mm.
6 to 8 people together once or twice a month. We're going to block off like 2 hours. We're going to have a topic, maybe some subtopics, and we're just going to go around the room as like a
Oh, that's
friendly
good.
debate style roundtable discussions. I think those are going to be fun. We got one on mental health with Charisse and Iris and a couple other people, Sharon, a couple other people that are going to jump in, fitness, all sorts of stuff. And I'm looking forward to that. I got one that I'm going to do about spirituality and the stars. So you'll be contacted close to me on
That's
that
good.
level. I just think it's showing me really where I belong, not only in school, but like to me, like what I want to show up with every day in my own routine for my own self so I can do the things that I want to do on school. And I think this summit really showed me that there's endless possibilities. Lean into everybody I'm meeting, learn as much as I can from them, show up to everything that they invite me to if I can, and just let everything happen. Because these connections in the last, like you said, in the last month, so many doors and opportunities and
Mm.
things and offers and podcasts and live events have just been up, uncovered without having to go looking for them. And that has been that has
I
been
think that's the universe's way of telling you that you're on the right path. And if I may add something to that from my external point of view, I see that this summit boosted you into a leadership position, and it's very well deserved. Like you are a person of authority, and someone to look up to for many people in this community and beyond. And I see that every single day. So I just wanted to, put that on display a little bit because I don't know you for that long like Becca and Dave does, but I still see the transformation every single day, and it's amazing to witness that. So I'm very happy for you, Brandon.
Thanks. And I honestly couldn't do where we're at right now without you and the team that we have and the things that we're building here with the people. And you have become the tornado storm chaser for because you help me see a different side of me. I feel like I've had a lot of generational stuff followed me into how I have to be passionate about the things I come up with. And you help me harness that in ways I don't even think you realize. And you know about my gene keys and astrology better than I do. So you can point me in directions of Brandon, don't do that. Like, so I love that.
Yeah, we have a pretty cool dynamic, and it doesn't mean that we don't piece each other off once in a while,
Oh,
right?
brother sister at thing is
Exactly. It's
we
exactly
learned
that.
that, right? Like we might piss each other off, we might get annoyed, but we come to the table, we figure it out, which was
Yeah.
love. And if someone don't, no one else better don't pick on my sister because I'm gonna be the first one to say get out of here. So that we've learned that too. And I think school is a really good generator of connective energy.
Mm.
School brings the right tribes vibes. We're talking about new guards, old guards. What's cool is school gives those places islands to live on and
Mm. Yeah.
things to thrive in their own ways. We don't have to you have to live by my way. We don't have to do that. Percentage of people that like it this way go that way. And then the people that like it that way go that way. Instead of other platforms that I see, you have to be this way or that way. And then there's the people stuck in the middle going, I'm being ganged up on. And school's not like that. It's a
No.
great energy conducive.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, honestly, I don't know anyone who's only in one school community. So it's inevitable. You are going to get curious. You will meet someone. And just because you want to support them, you will join their community. You don't even know anything about what their community is about. And all of a sudden, you're learning things left and right, making friends. That's pretty much what it's about. It's just like curiosity, try things and like just discover the world and make new friends and have fun.
We talk about the growth stuff a lot, like the mindset, the body, the nutrition, the school stuff, right? Like where you're doing all this stuff that grows you as a human being and it's you're taking action. There's a lot of great communities. But man, have I not like I've upgraded how I'm gonna camp because of Rodney this year. Me and Alicia both. Me and Alicia are gardening because of Jim Flack in different ways and growing about our soil in different ways. I'm back into vintage comics because of Julian Anderson.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and I'm like thinking about learning how to play ukulele from Kalili in the schoolyard.
Cool.
That's what else is really neat about this platform is the lifelong learning aspect of
Mm,
skills.
yeah, for sure.
You get to see these cool people and like I joined the ukulele community. I've never played the ukulele. My grandpa's a musician. I have one that got like gifted to me. And now this guy's like, I can teach you. And I'm like, huh,
That'd be
that's
perfect for when you guys are camping.
yeah, exactly. So that part has been neat too, where it's not just about like the hard work, messy thoughts and working out and eating well and journaling. And there's also a lot of just loosey fun stuff that you can do in school. And that's as adults in a stressful, scary world, we all need that. We all need a little cake.
Yes, exactly. Oh, love it. Let's finish with cake. So, I have some cards here for us,
Yes.
Brent. And I don't even know what to say at this point. So the one that I got for you says the snake and it reads shed old skin. And I see this so much in you. Like you've become like like a phoenix actually, like completely coming back to life from your ashes. I wasn't there from the beginning of the story, but I do know your story. And maybe with the school journey it's even more fitting, like the shedding the old skin, because there was a different way how we used to do school and now there's like the new way, and you're definitely spearheading that movement, and it wouldn't be possible without your incredible amount of ideas and energy and all that kind of a movement that you generate. So yeah, I hope this resonates.
Yeah, and I'm gonna let you do yours, and I have a question about these cards, but wow, yeah, that's exactly I feel like that's what I was doing a month, 2 months before the summit. I was kinda quiet on Skool. I didn't really know what I was doing. I was going through a period of, like, what do I wanna lean into? And then I found that. So
Yeah.
I'm yeah, that's exactly what was
It's
happening.
interesting because in Chinese astrology, we are still in the year of the wooden snake. It's on the 17th is the Chinese New Year, and we're stepping into the year of the fire horse. But yeah, so maybe that's also a little coincidence. And so I got one for me. I don't know. Maybe I'll ask you how you feel it if it's fitting or not. So I got the Magic Guardian. It reads, "Unlock the magic within."
I I don't really have anything to say. How much have you said, like, "Let the magic happen" on this podcast?
Sound like a broken record.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really funny. And then I did one for the podcast as well.
Oh,
So
this oh,
she wolf, and it says, "Unleash the wild within." And I love that. It's like, just do it, like, don't have to plan, just let it roll.
before we go into the last part, I wanna talk about the cards.
Okay.
So you chose those a lot of the guests you didn't know
Yeah.
prior, but you chose those prior to the call every time, correct?
Yeah. I just shuffled the deck and I pretty much just let a card fall out. So it's not like I'm picking it, but I just randomly pick a card.
I don't think one did touch on something that person said. Like for me, I hope the guests felt the same way, but for me, listening to the story and seeing the car, everyone was like a perfect fit. Like
Yeah,
some of
great.
them even more so.
Yeah, yeah,
Jim,
yeah.
Jim and Jamie getting the same one to me, that meant something to me.
Which
That
one?
Jim Moats and Jamie Gastrich getting the same
Oh, right. Yeah, yeah, they
card.
got the
Their
broken
card
arrow or which one? Yeah, yeah.
yeah, what their card is and I can't remember exactly what it said, but what it did say was, like, epitome of what both
You
those guys stand for.
yeah,
It was just so like, so neat that that happened for real.
yeah.
So, yeah, the cards was a fun part
I
of
really like the Jenny's card as well because I remember I didn't know Jenny at all before the call, and I was like, "Water Guardian, okay, whatever." And then she started talking about her story, and it was like water all over the place, and I was like, "Okay, now I see this." And she also felt that it resonated pretty well. So
yeah,
yeah, it's a
so
cool
those are
little
cool.
gimmick. So
So guys, we really appreciate every single one of you listeners watching us in the community, on the recording, watching this on YouTube, Spotify, Pinterest, anywhere, Facebook from me. I sent share a lot of stuff. Wherever you are listening, we thank you because you created this. You
oh yeah,
created this into a podcast. You turned this into something that people talked about, wanted to listen to. You're taking things from all of our guests. So every single guest of this summit, everyone who has supported this, every 528 members in Evergreen Foundations, the Evolution podcast from the bottom of our heart thanks you for everything that you've done to this point because now this is a really cool part of our lives. Don't get me wrong. This isn't something that's like, oh, now I got to do the podcast every week. Like this is exciting to me. I get to talk to everyday superheroes who own communities or not, who are just helping others and kicking butt in life because they want to make a difference. And talking to those people makes my life more special. So thanks for making that happen to every single person that had a part of it, including you, sister.
yeah, right back at
Um,
you.
so we're going to end this the same way, but a little different that we've ended every summit call. And I'm going to ask Dinka and then she'll ask me. Um, I want to say that this question in the beginning, admittedly, I thought, is it going to get really bland, same answers, one word? Like, is it going to be the same thing? And it blew my mind. These,
Yeah.
the answers we got were incredible. So, what does evolution mean to you, Digga?
CIA, baby. Consistent, imperfect action. That's pretty much what this is all about, like nobody has it figured out first when they start doing something new. And that's the only way to grow is to try and to fail forward and to do it anyway when you're scared shitless because a lot of us are. We didn't know what we were getting ourselves into in many ways with this summit and the podcast, and so just do it anyway. That's pretty much the best way I could sum it up. Mhm. So what does it mean to you, evolution?
I've had like a master class on this question.
Mhm.
like I've
Yeah.
really had to like we've had a lot of really powerful answers. Um what I started with. So, evolution to me is really self discovery. It's everything that we pour into this community. Evolution to me really is the five pillars of evolution and what we talk about in Evergreen Foundations and having a strong mind, working on your mindset, and learning who you are and your thoughts and your self beliefs, keeping your body and your machine able to do everything that you need to do in a life by eating well and resting and working out, never stopping to learn, always soaking up everything, never being afraid to try something new, connecting with others. I think connection and contribution pillar really shined in this event. And that all leads to living with a purpose. So for me, every step of that process, figuring out what my habits and lifestyle and routines um, fall into under all that category, under the pillars, that's the evolution to me. So, what does my lifestyle look like to get what Brandon Decramer really means? Self discovery. I want to look back in 30 years and go, I'm proud of what I learned about myself
Mhm.
because of everything that I did. And I think that's what, at its core, what evolution for me means.
Yeah. I have the feeling that you will be proud. You are doing a stellar job and you are being an example for so many of us here in the community, for your kids, for your friends, your family. And I'm super proud of you. And I'm so honored and grateful to be able to call you my brother.
As
Just
am I.
with a TV at the end.
So here we go. Like we're going to be doing this every week now. It's the Evolution Podcast. I'm looking forward to it. Dinka, we have some guests where it's just like the summer. It was like, oh, I can't believe it. I'm already doing that with our list. Like, I'm like, Manda Jackson, Arthur Pendragon. Oh my goodness. Yes, let's go. Tim Tyndall. like, so it's going to be fun. Let's keep listening every week. We'll get them up. Evergreen Foundations, you guys get free crack access as we post live we record live and we'll post it to our wall before it goes on all the platforms. So, little hint, come join Evergreen Foundations. Uh, Thank you for joining us. Dinka Salvador from Trinity Code, Brandon Decremer from Better Brain Project. Never stop evolving.